What sort of things do I look for when I'm printmaking?
Well, just when you're trying to ink.
Okay, so what I was looking for while I was trying to ink, if you come in close, you can see that this has bled off to the sides where the laser has melted it. If it cut a little bit deeper, that ink wouldn't be a problem. So it would need to be, probably it needs to be about 1/8 of an inch deep is a good measurement. Also, it warped a little bit and the laser melted the surfaces a bit, so these are too small to really show up with this method of printing, or specifically with the type of ink we're using. Because the thing about this ink is that it is really forgiving for getting an image out of lino, and I have the lino of the lab thing in my hand. Would you mind grabbing it for me? Thanks.
Yeah, that's perfect. I was waiting for you to do that.
So, this is what we call good one-side particle board, and it's beach-based particle board, and it's really good for doing this because it's super cheap, and you just take the veneer off, and it's really good and it's easy to carve. What I'm going to show you is lino, which is also super cheap and easy to carve. This is acrylic, which is super cheap and easy to put through a laser cutter. So partly what I'm trying to do is figure out... No, I wanted this. So this is a piece of lino that we ran through the laser cutter. As you can see from the black on the surface, this is not an experiment we will be doing again.
How does it smell?
It smells like burnt wood shavings and linseed oil, which is because that's what lino is made of. So,
What? Linseed oil?
linseed oil. So,
How much do you figure it took off in terms of the depth?
well, the laser isn't really going to
Well, pretty good apparently,
Yeah.
since it's only inking
Yep.
most of the outline.
So at a laser depth of 4, you get some errors, and that was run on 8. So I would say that running it at 12, which is the next step, the next power up, is pretty good. So, could somebody go grab me some of the scraps of clean paper that should be over where I was cutting paper? And then I can, somebody who has clean hands can dump them in the soap bin for a second and we can print this. Yeah, exactly. Just put that in the soap bin. Okay, just sink it down. You have to make sure that it's totally covered in water, and then like you scramble it around a few minutes. Should be warm water. Warm water works best. Warm water works best because what you're doing in the soap is you're removing the sizing from the paper. That's a fancy word for glue that makes your paper not disintegrate in transit.
You have to let it dry?
No, you want it to be wet actually for this technique because the water resists the oil and that gives you a slightly cleaner plate and it also gives you a chance to fix it if you screw up.
Oh, no bullshit gessoing or anything.
There's no bullshit gessoing. I like this because this is the medium of instant gratification. You can see if you've done it wrong. You can see if you've done it wrong right away and then you can fix it. That's not true of any other artistic medium other than maybe sculpture.
It's kind of expensive to fix.
Yeah.
It's expensive to fix sculptures, generally. And one of the big things that where technology and art intersect is that technology helps us make art that is what we intend, rather than being completely at the mercy of, oh god, I fucked up, what the f*** is going on? You can totally do this. Okay, can you get that paper out of there now? Okay, so here's the part where you take off your gloves and you put them to one side and you're like, where the hell did I put in my clean surface? Do I have a clean surface? What's going on?
I'm noticing the slow stripping of the clean surfaces. This is good.
There is no clean, you need like 5 clean surfaces, and you always need 1 more clean surface than you have.
That's way too much LSD.
Yeah.
Nobody can take
This
that
is
one.
an old towel.
Okay, now I don't think I can post this as a PG on YouTube anymore.
I didn't realize you were doing video.
So, this is an old towel. This is a piece of 100% cotton rag on an old towel. This is a slightly dried piece of cotton rag that you don't need to dry totally. Look how floppy that is. That's nice and floppy. And that means that when we put even the slightest pressure on it, it'll sink right into the paper and give us a nice gloss.
Oh, beautiful thing.
So, grabbing your dirty gloves. Yeah, it's Arch's 100-pound, well, it's 90-pound press. So, I of course have covered my entire work surface with oil, all the while emphasizing how clean things have to be to turn out, because that's just how I roll. Now, ideally what I would have here is a registration square. A registration square is a square where you have drawn the outline of your paper and the outline of your piece, and you line everything up so that your piece is over its own outline and your paper is over its own outline. When you're done, you have a thing that's perfectly vertical. Ta-da! Okay, so now I grab the other and final special tool. This is really you only really need 2 special tools that you can't get at the hardware store to do this. One of them is your Baron, or Briar, and one of them is your Baron. And your Baron provides a smooth, flat, even pressure. This is the equivalent of a $15,000 press. You just have to be very patient with it. $15,000 press for $10 have to be really patient, like anything else. So you find the edge of your paper, and with a nice, even pressure, press down with the Baron. Make sure you get the edges, because you want to get all of that nasty ink that made your plate messy. Now, you decide whether you want a perfect print, or whether you want a good enough print, or whether you want a print that looks like somebody printed it by hand. Because this is the part where you can decide what sort of image you get. You can help it along by cutting deep enough into your board that you will never guff an ink and edge. Some people are really committed to that. Some people like 100% perfect prints. I am not actually a 100% perfect print person, because I have a laser cutter and a laser printer, and if I want it to be perfect, it's going to be perfect. I'd use technology. Instead of using technology, I am using art supplies.
Which are like technology.
Which are like technology, but ta-da!
Cool. Could we try printing crystals and see what happens?
Yes, we can try printing crystals and see what happens. I need to get more scraps from over there first, and we need to maybe rip up some more paper first. So there's a lot of prep time that goes into this. So, the next thing you can do, though, is you can... This one didn't work out so well because the depth isn't there, but if you look carefully at this, you can see that the edge of it very slightly embossed into the paper. And that's what letterpress is all about. It is about actually having a physical effect on your paper instead of just printing on the surface.
Yeah, they call that the kiss.
Yes, you are making a thing. This is how you can tell that you have made the thing, is that it actually has an effect in the physical world. It's not just spitting ink onto a surface. So as you can see also, you can see that I put a bit too much ink on it, and it squished out the side when I did the Baron. So it inked around the edges, but it didn't actually pick that up properly. And there wasn't really enough inking on there. And there was a lot of ink that hit the background of it, which made it kind of messy and photocopier style, which I actually really like.
Yeah.
I would be perfectly happy to use this as, you know, the basis for a flyer or a party thing and be like, hey, check us out, we are messy and zine style. So that is well into artistic theory, though, which has nothing actually to do with printmaking. Art theory, now I'm just going to go put this on the drying rack, because now it dries. You ideally want to lie things flat when they dry, because otherwise they warp, and you have to put them in the oven after spritzing them with water and iron them to get them flat again, and you risk losing your image that way, because you might have a lot of image transfer. Last time I did it, I put it in an oven and I baked it at 150 degrees after filling the oven with a pan of water. The water boils, it fills the oven with steam, the cotton flattens out under the weights, you no longer have warped cotton, you do have an oven full of steam and possibly a lot of problems getting rid of it, but...
Open it up and look inside, see if it's good.
Yeah, you lose all the skin on your face. But yeah. So that's kind of the, that is the basic theory of printmaking. So let's try Christopher's.